and welcome everybody to another edition of the Daily Space Weather. Where have all the data gone? NASA sites are down. Weird, and more weird. Crazy weather. And a lot of missing data. Today we're starting things out by showing you a view of absolutely nothing, because this website cannot be reached. Will we have a lot of solar imagery? Oh wait, let's up here. Today we'll be showing you lots of solar imagery. Survey said. Oh man, you guys hammer me here with this stuff. Jeez. So next we'll show you the 304 angstroms view from the SOHO, except we won't, because there's no data to be seen. NASA sites are down. How about the 171 angstroms view from the SOHO? Nope. Check out spaceweathernews.com. No views from NASA of the sun there either. What about the browse data? Will the browse data work? Whoops. Doesn't work either. We do have some data, and by the way, nasa.gov seems to work fine. They're mapping aerosols and fires. Again, the browse data's down, the STO, the Sun Now site is down. Basically, all solar imaging sites are down. Now, here's what we were looking at yesterday. And let's just bypass all that to show you that, guess what? That site's down also. The radio flux is still at 70. So that is one thing I can tell you. And here is the sun, as the GOES 16 is still providing data. Although we've only got a couple hours here. About 4 hours worth. And there you can see there is still a star there. It's the 195 angstroms view. Looks similar to the 193. And here's the view from the LASCO. So we do have LASCO data. Only available in certain spots. It's the Space Weather Enthusiast dashboard. So for some reason the interfaces are not working on the other sites. Again, radio flux still at 70 solar flux units. I guess you'll get some behind-the-scenes stuff today, because it's pretty weird, and I'm not angry about it at all. Although I'm wondering if power outages may have something to do with it. There are quite a lot. The KP index is currently at 0 today on 9/9/2020. Have you developed 2020 vision this year? To notice all the covidians coming out of the woodwork? GOES X-ray flux is still flatline, no surprises there, and so is the proton flux. We don't see any major sort of strikes to the magnetosphere. And let's go to the real-time solar data. At least we still have that from the Discover. Just allow that to draw. There we go. Current solar wind density 5.9 protons per cubic centimeter. Current solar wind speed very low at 302 kilometers per second. Very low. We see a weak magnetosphere associated with that weak solar wind. No real surprises there. This 4 hours of data courtesy of University of Michigan. I'm pressing reload on the SDO site here the whole time I'm making the video, and still no data on what's going on with the sun right now. Here's the ground magnetic perturbations, another version of the geospace model, version 1.5. We don't see a lot of induction-induced magnetism changes here. Keep in mind you are viewing delta B, in other words, changes in the Earth's B field. And let's move on to more data that we don't have. So there's a lot of data loss going on. And we've got an insane number of power outages. Still got 127,000 out in Louisiana, 11,000 out in New Mexico, over 100,000 out in Utah, nearly 165,000 out in California, nearly 100,000 out in Oregon, and 27,000 out in Washington. Also, we saw an odd earthquake in New Jersey at a 3.1 magnitude. All kinds of strange stuff going on. And there's the GOES magnetometer. Let me bring that back. We saw some very high readings there, all the way up to 116 nanotesla, and pretty spiky readings as well. I would tell you what's going on with the current sheet, except we don't have any Gong 2 data. So there's nothing to show you there, folks. I can't show you the top view ecliptic plane field plot. I can't show you the line of sight field plot because there ain't nothing to see. I can't show you the 2-week coronal field force line plot, but I can do a Smash Light segment. So the Smash Light segments, for all you new viewers, they're the part where we talk about whatever we want, and this one's going to be integrated in the Daily Space Weather video. Let's talk about not being ossified in our beliefs and to treat those who are with love, respect, and inclusion to the scientific discussion. If you want to know all about the mission, head to smashamash.com/forum/mission. You can find out all about it there. Let's talk about bunkum. There's a lot of bunkum on the internet, especially on YouTube. Also, the mainstream media full of bunkum. It means insincere or foolish talk. So if you're a content creator and you're watching our content, please don't be a
bunkum
merchant, because there are a lot of bunkum merchants, and please don't be out there profiting from
bunkum,
because it hurts your credibility and it wastes space on the servers and people's time. Let's talk about Flat Earth by Clowncore. What a great video. Here's a clip. If you haven't seen this one, check it out. It's on YouTube. Flat Earth by Clowncore. An interesting take on mobile music production. Oh, I just love it. Were you aware that big tech stocks have lost more than $1 trillion in the past 3 days? Yeah, it's true. It's true. So the 6 biggest tech stocks have lost over $1 trillion. And those include Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, Tesla, Facebook, and Alphabet. Yes, Alphabet lost $135 billion. Amazon fell $191 billion. And Apple's down about $325 billion. Facebook off by $89 billion. And Tesla, which fell 21% on Tuesday, to mark its worst single-day loss in history. Why? Because these big tech companies are completely out of gas and they're behaving like zombies. Here's the article on CNBC. And I've been calling these companies zombie companies for a long time. Will the correction stick? I don't know. I think a lot of people will probably rush back in and say, oh my God, it's a buying opportunity. And let's just say the problems that I've had with these organizations has not yet ended. It's still an election year. Speaking of election years, a lot of people have elected to dump a bunch of Alphabet stock. Ouch. Check out the graph there. How does that feel, Sergey Brin and Larry Page? By the way, if you think Sundar Pichai is in charge of Alphabet, well, Larry Brin and Sergey Page still own a controlling share of the stock. That's 50% of the stock plus 1 share, if you're wondering. Now, the sun today has been showing some views here. Let me see if I can get you an image of the 171 angstroms. Oh, there we go. Is the SDO back? Anyway, there's the current image. And pretty sure we don't see any sunspots. Let's see if it'll play the 48-hour video. And I'm pretty sure that is going to be off limits. Let's take one more look at 94 angstroms. There's the 94 angstroms view. Again, unlikely that there are any sunspots. And let's just move on here, because we don't want to become old and gray and make a very, very lengthy video showing you a bunch of missing data. So there's more missing data from a NASA site. We usually stream these live to Twitch. It's twitch.tv/smAsho, and today we didn't do it because there's too much missing data. If you enjoy the content on YouTube, please press like and subscribe over there. Press the notification bell. You may actually receive a notification, although I'm not entirely sure. Shout out to Alphabet. We're also on BitChute, as we found it very important to get involved in alt tech because of the way big tech companies are complete zombies that are just flailing around, hiring attorneys, trying to cover up their own liability. Let's talk about COVID for a brief moment. COVID, it's very scary and spooky, so scary and spooky that I'm just going to leave it there floating above my head. Hey, COVID, let's talk about you for a minute. We've created a very, very lengthy section on smashomash.com/forum. It's over 30 pages in length. It creates a timeline of what was really going on. On April 16th, Pennsylvania's Senate was already trying to override Democrat Governor Tom Wolf's stay-at-home order. Why? Because it's COVIDiotic, just like the governor, as well as the, quote, physician general, end quote, Rachel Levine, former NCAA linebacker who's making health decisions for you if you live in Pennsylvania. Head to smashamash.org if you'd like to support our organization. You can link to the forum there, smAsho store, the other smAsho store, and the affiliate, smashomash.org. It'll redirect you to smashomash.com. Here's what's going on the affiliate, by the way. We've dipped our tippy toe into the Amazon affiliate space. So we're selling things like a pulse oximeter, which I use, L-lysine, which I use, MSM, methylsulfonylmethane, a supplement, almond flour, calcium, shugu, and all kinds of other things like Betty Crocker's smashed potatoes. Some PPE, including a mask that really protects you from things such as biological agents. Yes. Organic vapors, indeed, are what are filtered by the canisters that we showed there. And there are also N95 dust pad covers that will increase the efficacy of your hazmat suit and other gear. UV lights, in case you want to sterilize yourself because you're very scared and spooked of the, oh my God, it just vanished. It just vanished. Can you believe it? Isn't that amazing? Next year's not an election season, folks, so don't worry. There's also some socks and bike lights and other supplements like zinc and vitamin D. The mouse that I'm using at this very moment, our air fryer, and a keyboard very similar to the one that I use. Microsoft hardware is pretty good, even if the software can be questionable. Follow us on social media also. We're on places like Facebook, Gab, Twitter, etc. If you want to see where we're located, head to smashomash.org and click on this little arrow up here, and that'll reveal the social media sites, most if not all of them. Shout out to Smash staff. We're also on Twitter, and one of our latest retweets is from Dr. Simone Gold, made famous because of reasons, who says, "You mean the only continent where hydroxychloroquine is widely available and can be purchased over the counter? Yeah, Africa. That's right. They can't explain the puzzling lack of coronavirus outbreaks in Africa. But apparently Dr. Simone Gold can. New York Post, I'm not sure if they've figured it out or not. Hydroxychloroquine's available over the counter in Africa." Let's talk about cosmology, as there's some interesting stories once again hitting the newswire today. A cataclysmic variable, V1460 Hercules, has a fast-spinning white dwarf accreting from an evolved donor. So this is an interesting one as the emission spectra lined up. So it's a tidally violent place with an orbital period of 4.99 hours. This one's located at a distance of about 20,000 light years, I think. Hang on a minute. Anyway, it's estimated to be at about 0.87 and 0.29 solar masses. So if you want to read about this cataclysmic variable, the article is on phys.org in the astronomy and space section. This is what a cataclysmic variable looks like. You've got a white dwarf orbiting typically a larger star, and you get this disk that comes out of the smaller star and sort of hovers there in between the two stars, and then you get this interaction point right here, which almost looks like an additional star, but is indeed the intersection point of that plasma bridge. This one by Mark A. Garlick. What a great name. Mark A. Garlick. Check him out, perhaps. Let us know what you think of his YouTube page. Let's talk about another interesting series of pulse flux events. It's Pulsar J119-6127. This is the one that's located at 20,000 light years, I think. 27,400 light years. And what's interesting about this is that we see radio, gamma, and X-ray pulses all aligned during a 2016 event, which perhaps changed the orientation of the fields. So if you want to read about that one, it's on phys.org's Astronomy and Space section as well, as it's not rife with charticles, as is their Earth section. Taking into account all the collected data, the astronomers concluded that the 2016 X-ray outburst probably caused a reconfiguration of the magnetosphere of Pulsar J1119-6127 and changed the structure of the open field line regions. So that is an interesting thing in terms of star evolution, to say the least. Pulsar J1119-6127 in the news. And we'd show you some more data from swift.nasa.gov. The Neil Gorell Swift Bat Observatory is down. So is Simbad. So we can't show you any of that kind of stuff. We can show you the fact that we're on Subscribestar. We're also on Patreon. So please consider supporting the channel via the links below the video, whether it's through the Amazon links, the smAsho stores, Subscribestar, or Patreon. Patreon is the true source of funding for the content, thanks to our patrons. And always look for more content coming soon via the Patreon. It's patreon.com/smashomash. Before we move on, Sky Scholar has got a new video out today. Now, the Sky Scholar channel on YouTube is hosted by Dr. Pierre-Marie Robitaille, a world record-setting radiologist. And this one is talking about the resolution of the anisotropy maps. Now, if you're not familiar with anisotropy maps, I can't explain it in this video, as this is part of the daily space weather, and we don't want it to be too long. However, there is a great explanation of the Big Bang in here, and the initial 3 minutes, as well as the first 13.8 billion years of what was going on. Also, what the microwave monopole is, and why it's not a thing that we're able to measure in any sort of effective fashion at places such as Lagrange Point 2. So anyway, for an interesting little refresher and stance on cosmology, please check out the Sky Scholar channel. And Pierre-Marie Robitaille is the writer of the Sun on Trial, 40 proofs suggesting a liquid metallic hydrogen solar model is the correct structure of the sun. Here's a little clip from the video uploaded yesterday about breaking down the anisotropy maps.
Is unsupported by a verified physical mechanism. Furthermore, it takes a vibrational lattice in order to produce a thermal photon.
It takes a vibrational lattice in order to produce a thermal photon. Don't forget about your black body. Remember, folks, all things matter, and black body radiation indeed matters. And here ends another episode of the Smash Lights. It'll be integrated into today's daily space weather because there's too much stuff to do, and we ran very late because of a lack of info. Solon.info site is down also. I don't know what's going on with solar imaging, but for some reason, we don't see any. We're just about to move back into electron flux warning levels here as we make the video. Surface charging and internal charging hazards are minimal. In fact, we don't see any. Let's take a look at a visualization of the electron flux. This is the total electron content all the way from the thermosphere down to the ground. And we see some anomalies here around the equator once again. We see high levels of nighttime electron flux. And the forecast model does show a drop here, a precipitous drop. And hey, I'm not going to argue with the model today because frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. Now today's, son of a bee, did I fail to show you that? All right, there we go. There's the total electron content forecast model. I apologize for the test pattern. All right, and so there we go. There's the relativistic electron content forecast. And here's the last 24 hours of the ionosphere. And it's looking a little bit anomalous too here. We're seeing big charge ups in places where the sun isn't, as well as odd charged up anomalies in the southern hemisphere. Man, oh man. An odd day when it comes to data. Latest image coming in at 9 o'clock UT. That's looking a little more normal than the past 24 hours. Here's where stuff is in the solar system. There's where things will be in a week. in-the-sky.org is down too, it looks like. Let's give it a moment to refresh. Is it going to work? Is it going to work? I don't think so. Let's look at the last 24 hours of earthquakes. And here's an odd one, to say the least. Located near Monmouth, near Freehold, New Jersey. Please leave us a comment if you felt that 3.1 magnitude quake. Not too shabby. Actually, pretty shabby. It's in New Jersey. The fascist state of New Jersey. If you're from Jersey, don't be offended. I meant the government. Otherwise, we basically see a lull in earthquakes here. We don't see any major earthquakes. Let me just hit refresh to make sure we've got the full data set. And there you go. It's a big lull in earthquakes, folks. Pretty weird. Very, very quiet on the earthquake front. By the way, we're broadcasting from the smAsho bunker today. If you hear that low rumbling sound in the background, that's what it is. And the largest of the past 24 was this lone 5.6 at the Philippines. Let's check the volcano situation at Volcano Discovery. And we see a change at Makushin, which is an Aleutian Island volcano. It's been downgraded to normal as seismic activity has decreased. Pacaya, Strombolian activity at Pacaya, producing a 1,200 meter long lava flow. Sangay, occasional clouds and summit hotspot, producing a 21,000 foot ash plume. Sounds pretty hot to me. Revenador's exploding. Flight level 150 there, and intermittent puff emissions from Sabancaya are a reminder to not attempt a back handspring over the caldera. Look at all the hard freeze warnings for the northern plains. Ouch. Also frost advisories. And heavy snow falling right now in southern and eastern Colorado. Tropical Tidbits is down as well. Windy.com is up. Let's follow the pressure cells. This is the GFS forecast for this is the GFS forecast for pressure. We're going to pause this tomorrow at noon my time. There's where things are expected to be at 1 p.m. my time tomorrow. And if you're wondering where we're located, new viewers, we are in eastern Pennsylvania, about 12 miles from the Jersey border. Don't worry, we can't smell New Jersey from here. Their politicians are located in Trenchtown. And lightningmaps.org is up. We don't see a lot of lightning. Actually, I'm not so convinced that it's up. That looks like not enough lightning. Let's hit refresh. And there we go. Real-time lightning maps, lightningmaps.org. And we see some rare lightning down here near Las Cruces, Silver City. Truth or consequences? There's thunder rolling in. As well as some in the Mediterranean. We've got water vapor maps for you for Africa and Europe. Here's a water vapor map for the Far East and Oceania. Here's me checking how long this video is, because we don't want it to be too long. Please leave a comment if that's what she said. Here's a US Doppler radar map, and there's all that snow. Please leave a comment if you've got 40 inches of snow. I don't think they got quite that much, but I'm not going to try to look. Heavy series of precipitation there, stretching all the way from Lake Huron to the Arizona-New Mexico border. Still snowing heavily in southwestern Wyoming as well. Next, we're going to look at, I don't know, a page that's just giving me a white screen, and frankly, it's freaking me out. It's the NASA GOES interactive weather satellites, which are not functioning. Let's look at the jet streams here on nullschool.net. There are the jet streams of the eastern world. Here are the jet streams of the western world. And check out the extreme cold weather. There you go. There's the culprit for that one. Check out that sudden bend. Major counterclockwise rotation at the 25,000 foot altitude. And there are the surface winds. A fully different story. Massive pressure gradients created in that area. Yowzers. Major jet stream flow. And hey, Smash team, thanks for tuning in. We apologize that we couldn't show you more solar data, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles when all the imaging sites go down. By the way, if you're thinking about going hunting, perhaps go advertise the Smash team. It's got the smAsho.org website URL on there. Because there's nothing that says, please don't run me over or shoot me, like a blaze orange shirt in the fall. Thanks for flying American Smashways. It's time for me to vanish. And thank you for flying American Smashways, and remind you to please keep your head and arms inside the Smash plane at all times. The SDO site is looking like, oh, what's going on? Is it coming back, folks? It could be coming back. It does not look like it's coming back. We're going to show you the blank screen, and the blank screen, and the other blank screen. And then I'm going to head back to the Space Weather Enthusiast dashboard. To show you the intensity gram. And that there are 0 sunspots. There you go. Ah, the intensity gram actually working. So there you see a completely blank disk. Thanks for tuning in. Remember, stare at the sun, don't drink it. If you do, don't drive. Let us know if you find the SDO site back up soon. It'll probably be up like 5 minutes after we're done cutting the video. See you next time. And may that solar wind be at your back and that atherosclerosis absent from your arteries. And that covidiously absent from your locale.